Over the last 25 years, LEGO has made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of LEGO Star Wars sets, but there are still some things that they haven't made. And today I'm going to be counting down my top 3 LEGO Star Wars sets that LEGO needs to make. Now firstly is a Mon Calamari Cruiser. Now there are many different directions that LEGO could take this in because there are simply so many Mon Calamari ships in the Star Wars universe. Some include the MC-75, the MC-85 and the MC-80 Liberty type Star Cruiser. However, despite all these different ship models from the Star Wars universe, there is one that I think really stands out, and that is the Home One. Now this ship first appeared in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, which came out in 1983, and although I think this set might be a bit niche, I think it would be a good set for LEGO to make because we haven't really had anything like this before. Of course we've had ships, and of course we've had loads of different ships from the Rebel Alliance, but we haven't really had ships of this sort of design, or I think sort of this size from the Rebel Alliance. You know, when we're thinking about capital ships, we've had stuff from the First Order, from the Empire, from the Separatists. You know, we've had ships from all of those, but not from the Rebel Alliance, so I think this would be a good idea because it's something new and it's a breath of fresh air per se. Oh yes, we had the Home One Mon Calamari Cruiser set in 2009, but that was simply just an interior build, and to be honest, for me, it wasn't anything special. What I'd like to see is a set actually based off the ship itself, one that's like sort of really captures the bulbous shape of the ship, and you know, just a set of the actual ship itself. However, there is one problem with this. The majority of LEGO bricks, as I'm sure you all know, are in fact rectangular, angular, triangular in shape, and so this set I think would be quite annoying, quite difficult to design because it's really bulbous and circular and oval-like, and I just feel like it would be much more difficult to design and create for LEGO. If this set were to be made, I think it would include between 900 and 1,500 pieces, have a price of around 120 to 170 pounds, which is roughly $150 to $200, and include something around 8 minifigures, some of which might include Admiral Akbar, Mon Mothma, and Return of the Jedi Lando Calrissian. Something else I should also mention is that there is a rumoured Home One set for next year in the midi scale, but I'd still want like a sort of play scale sort of version of the ship, so that's why I've mentioned it. Now, it is still a massive surprise to me that after 25 years, LEGO still hasn't made a Jedi Temple set. This set could come in so many different ways. It could come in a mini scale, which, you know, sort of around the same size as the midi scale ship sets, or the Starship Collection playset, or even a UCS set. I mean, it's so versatile that it just seems like a perfect product idea for LEGO, and they still haven't made it. Now, not only this, but the timeline of the Jedi Temple is much longer than any other LEGO set LEGO has ever produced. And what I mean by this is essentially, in Star Wars universe, it's really old. In universe, the temple was built in 3996 BBY, which essentially means 3996 years before Episode 4 or before the Battle of Yavin. This means we can get this set from the Old Republic era, from the High Republic era, from the prequel era, from, I suppose, the original trilogy era when it was the Imperial Palace, and maybe even the sequel trilogy era. Now, the reason I mention this is because LEGO just could be so versatile with the minifigures. They can include any Jedi from essentially any era we have in Star Wars canon, and I think this could just be a huge selling point for the set. I mean, if LEGO were to include, say, 2 minifigures from each era, that would just have me sold instantly. And so, although this set could be versatile, very versatile in fact, my ideal set would include roughly 1,000 to 2,000 pieces, have a price of around 150 to 250 pounds, which equates roughly to about $200 to $330, something like that. And like I mentioned previously, include 2 minifigures from 3 different eras. Some I'd like to see would be Bastila or Satele Shan and Revan from the Old Republic. And if you didn't know, Darth Revan was actually a Jedi before he was a Sith, so that's why I say it. And I mean, hey, they could even include him as a Sith. I would love to see a new Darth Revan minifigure. From the High Republic, I'd like to see Jedi Stellan Gios and Porta Engel. Now, although these Jedi aren't as really well known within the sort of Star Wars fandom per se, I still think they've got some really cool designs, and if LEGO were to ever make this set, I'd like to see how they would do Porta Engel as a minifigure. And then from the prequels, which some people might find a bit weird, but I'm just honestly I want new Jedi. I'd like to see Oppo Rancisis and Yarel Poof. Now, I think for Oppo Rancisis, they'd probably use the snake leg bits from Ninjago, and I think that's just what they'd use. But for Yarel Poof, maybe they just use an updated Kaminoan head. I'm not sure, but those are the minifigures I'd like to see. Now, my third and final set that I would love LEGO to make would be the Hammerhead Corvette, or to be very specific, the Sphena class Hammerhead Corvette. There we go. Now this set made its first appearance in Star Wars Rebels, and then its first live action appearance in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which came out in 2016. The Hammerhead Corvette, I love the design, I think it's great. And not only this, I think it would be a brilliant idea for a playset because it's not like the Mon Calamari Cruiser in the way that it's shaped. It's very angular and triangular, so I think it would be fairly easy to design and create both in a playset, and it would be even much easier to do as a UCS set. Now if LEGO were to ever produce this, I think it would probably come out in line with the anniversary of Rogue One, which I think came out around December 13th, 2016. And the reason I say that it would come out around this time is because the Hammerhead... Oh my god, I cannot talk today. The Hammerhead Corvette had its most, I think, iconic appearance or scene when it rammed into the Star Destroyer in Rogue One in the sort of final half of the film. So I think that would probably be the best time to release it, along with some maybe other Rogue One sets, so a remake of the Imperial Hover Tank or a remake of Krennic Shuttle. Oh please, I'd love that. Now if LEGO were to ever make the set, I think it would include between 1,300 and 1,500 pieces. Price would probably be around £130 to £150, which roughly equates to between $180 to $240. And the minifigures, I think they're a bit difficult to decide for the ship because we don't necessarily associate like specific characters with the ships, except for Leia when she was quite heavily involved with the ships in an episode of Rebels. I'd also include a guy called Kade Okone. I don't know, he was the captain of the Hammerhead Corvette in Rogue One. Some Rebel Alliance troopers, and maybe Admiral Radis or some Mon Calamari sort of crew to try and add some spice to the set, you know, try and add some spice. Anyway, those are my top 3 LEGO Star Wars sets that I'd like to see. They're a bit random, but I think there's some good choices in there. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and if there are some sets that LEGO hasn't made that you want them to make, let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, but again, it's optional, you don't have to, and I'll see you in the next video.